vegetation in Africa. Since this is senior 3, I know many of you had started on Africa, and I thought you had at least covered the physical geography and then climate. So now I want us to go through vegetation in Africa. And since we are running short of time, I want us to start now. So members, you are most welcome. So when we talk about vegetation, what do we mean? We are referring to all those plants that grow in an area. Vegetation constitutes of the plants that grow in an area. I'm sure where you are, whether in town or where, you have plants around you. And all these ones, they constitute what we call, when we talk about vegetation, what do we mean? These are trees and grass that grow from the soil of a given locality. Name plants, name all grasses, all that grow from the soil in a given locality. Then they may either grow naturally or artificially. So in other words, we have two types. We have two types. We have natural vegetation, or there can be another type where the vegetation is not naturally grown, or it is planted by man. Natural vegetation, when we talk about natural vegetation, we are saying this is the type of vegetation that develops on its own. It develops on its own following the physical conditions. And when we talk about the physical conditions, we are referring to conditions like climate and the nature of the soil and many other conditions. But what is very important is the natural vegetation grows on its own depending on the physical conditions. Physical conditions can include climate, can include soil, can include the height of the land, can include all those things that are physical. And we have different climate that support different vegetation. For example, some of the vegetation types in Africa are as a result of climate, different climatic conditions. So there is like a relationship. There is a relationship between climate and then the type of vegetation. And we are saying that different types of climate are because of different the climatic patterns. And I want to show you, I've just prepared a map to show you the distribution of different types of vegetation we have in Africa. How many people can view that map that I've displayed on the screen? By show of hands, if you can easily see the map that I've displayed on the screen. Yes, David can see, session. Yes, Inoresh can also see. So we have, and the Derema Charity, good. So that map shows the distribution of vegetation in Africa. I know to some of you it might be just, but at least we can try to identify the different shadings of the different types of climate, of vegetation in Africa. We have different types. I want you first to tell me the types you know. What are the different types of vegetation do we have in Africa? Yes, Okwaring John. Okwaring John?
Mediterranean climate.
Very good. We have Mediterranean.
Mediterranean vegetation.
We have Mediterranean vegetation. Yes, we have Mediterranean vegetation. That is one type. Another type. In a rush. In a rush.
Savanna vegetation.
We have savanna vegetation.
Also
yes.
tropical vegetation.
Session. Your hand is up. Sorry?
Equatorial vegetation.
We have equatorial vegetation. Yes. Nansubga.
Desert vegetation.
Come again. Nansubga. So when we
desert vegetation.
We have desert vegetation. So when we look at the map, Techno, someone using Techno Spark?
Yes, madam.
Yes.
We have mountain vegetation.
Come again?
Mountain vegetation.
We have montane type of vegetation. Good. So when we go back to our map, when we look at our map, we have those different types you have mentioned. We have those different types that you have mentioned. And when you look at the map, that I displayed on the screen, when you look at the map and you try to look at the different types of vegetation that you have mentioned, we have that part where that part covered by the equatorial rainforest. I'm sure you can be able to put that. Then we have that most part, the middle part, where we have some slashes. Then that one is the savanna, and that one covers most part of Africa. The savanna, it covers the biggest part of Africa. Then from savanna upwards, we have the desert vegetation. You can see it, it comes like from top, and then this side, that one is the desert vegetation, and then the other side of the map of Africa. So that part is covered by desert vegetation. Then we have Mediterranean vegetation on the extreme top and bottom. Extreme top and bottom, we have Mediterranean type of, vegetation. So from the map, you can easily tell, it shows the key. We have the savanna vegetation. Then we have all those types you have mentioned. I'm glad you have been able to say that. Then I can read from your chart, there is semi-arid vegetation. We have all those types you have mentioned. Now I want us to look at equatorial forests. Equatorial forests. When we talk about equatorial forests, people are saying the map is not seen.
Yeah.
Not seen. I displayed the map. Let me try to put it. So when we go to equatorial forests, I'm going to give you the map. I'm going to send it to you. So when we go to equatorial forests, we are referring to the luxuriant forest vegetation in which different types of trees occur. The equatorial forests, the forests that are outside the equator, those that cover those parts near the equator, they grow mainly in hot, rainy, and humid conditions of Africa. Mainly, such types of forests are found in countries near the equator, especially the West African countries. If you can give me the examples, if you can give me examples of those countries that are covered by equatorial forests. Baziwa and Joshua, can you mute your mic? Yes, in a rush.
DRC.
DRC, very good. That one has equatorial forests. Yes, the map is there. Next one, which other country do you think has, yes, Session? Session?
Uganda.
Come again?
Uganda.
Uganda is fine, but if I may just request you that when we are dealing with paper 2, let us always give examples from outside East Africa, because Uganda is fine, but that example will be used when you are dealing with paper 1. So apart from East African countries, I want you to give me examples of areas that have equatorial forests. Like one has mentioned DRC. Yes? Bigo Paul. Paul? Yes, Paul.
Gabon.
Gabon, very good. Gabon. Most West African countries, we have Gabon. Yes, Nansubuga. Agatha.
Mogadishu. Mogadishu.
Yes?
Madam Mogadishu. Mogadishu.
Mogadishu. Where is Mogadishu?
Cameroon.
Yes, Cameroon. Yes, we have Cameroon. So we are saying that most countries of West Africa, as you can see on the map, they are covered by equatorial forests. They are covered with equatorial forests. For example, DRC, we have Southern Nigeria, we have Gabon, we have Ghana, we have all those West African countries and other countries which are crossed by the equator.
We have Cameroon.
Forests are also known as rainforests because they receive so much rainfall. So you can either call them equatorial forests or rainforests. Now, having mentioned that, I want us to go to characteristics of equatorial forests. Characteristics of equatorial forests, or what we call rainforests. Yes, characteristics. What are the characteristics of equatorial rainforests? By show of hands, yes. Bigo Paul. Paul? Paul? Let me hear from Patience. Patience?
Yes.
Yes, one characteristic of equatorial forests.
They have roots to support the root and straight tracks.
Come again, come again.
They have buttress roots.
They have buttress roots. Very good. They have buttress roots that support them. That is one characteristic. equatorial forests have buttress roots. Yes? Yes, Anzoa Gloria. Gloria? Gloria, can you talk to us? Okay, let us hear from Inorush. Inorush? Inorush? Okay,
They
JB.
receive rains.
Anzoa is
broad
talking.
leaf.
They
Anzoa?
receive
They have broad leaf.
They have broad leaves, good. They have broad leaves, yes. Then Nansubuga. Nansubuga.
Trees make a
They make what?
thick canopy. A thick canopy.
Yes. These trees form canopies. They form canopies or layers. They normally form canopies and they have 3 layers. The forest is arranged in layers of canopies. The main canopy reaches about like 30 meters and forms a continuous layer as the crown of the trees merge with each other. Towering above are the emergents, which may be 50 meters tall. First, the 3rd layer of small trees form under canopy. And this can easily be shown by the diagram below. If we can first look at the canopy thing I'm talking about. I want to show you the picture of a canopy. I want to show you when we talk about layers. When we talk about layers, we are saying there are like 3 layers. We have the top layer, the middle layer, and then the bottom layer. That is what we mean by a canopy. Then you also read from your chart, Jofia is saying that they are evergreen. Good. They are evergreen and they have broad leaves. That is my first point. These forests are evergreen and have broad leaves. Yes, can I hear from Session? Session? Yes, Session?
They have a damp and humid atmosphere.
On top, there is humid atmosphere.
Yes.
Humid atmosphere, when we talk about humidity, I'm sure you understand. Especially on their top, there is humid content over them. The humid content is very high throughout the year. Very good. Yes. Debbie. Debbie.
The forests are thick and luxuriant. The forests.
Come again. Come again.
Yeah, the forests are thick.
Yes.
Are thick.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are thick and luxuriant. They have a luxuriant growth. Why? Because they receive a lot of rainfall. So they are luxuriant. Then from your chart, Nasur is saying that the trees have buttress roots. Good. Anzoa. Anzoa Gloria. Anzoa?
They are mainly made up.
And so there's someone making a lot of noise about behind you. I don't know.
No, there's no.
That what?
There's no one. They are mainly made up of hardwood.
Wow, they have hard wood. You can tell that sister of yours just to keep quiet. The trees have hard wood. Yes? Yes, patience. Patience. And so can you mute your mic? There's some noise coming behind you. Yes, patience. 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 Patience, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
they have a long gestation period.
Wow, she's saying that they have a long gestation period. They have a long gestation period. Yes, that one is right. What else? Yes. They have a long gestation period. Nansubuga, Agatha. Agatha? Yes? What are the characteristics? Session?
They
Yes?
are mostly hardwood trees.
Yes, they are mostly
They are
hardwood. They
trees.
are mostly hardwood trees. And if I can read from what you have typed, session account is saying they contain a variety of tree species. They are mixed up, in other words. Trees are not of the same species. They are heterogeneous. They are heterogeneous species, including climbing plants such as lianas. Yes, Session, that one is right. Yes, Nansubuga. Nansubuga? Yes? Members, Jabi. Jabi?
Yep. Trees are tall, usually 30 to 50 meters and above.
Exactly. Trees are tall. They even can go above 50 meters. So when you can, then Session has already, I have already read your thing. We have inner rush. Inner rush.
They have thick forests.
Yes, they are thick. Now, if you can read from what I have typed, they contain many trees which do not appear in pure stands. It contains thick undergrowth. The trees are mainly hardwood. They contain large buttress roots. They are heterogeneous. They have heterogeneous species. Humidity content over them is very high. Someone had mentioned that. They receive heavy rainfall, which is well distributed throughout the year. Reason being, they are near the equator. Those areas are near the equator, and therefore they receive a lot of rainfall. Yes, I can see some hands are still up. If you have mentioned your answer, just put down your hand. Yes, Session's hand is still up. Session, do you have something? Session?
Oh, wait.
Yes. Then in my next slide, I had prepared the picture showing tropical rainforests, the appearance of the equatorial forests, where someone mentioned that these trees have different canopies. I said when we talk about canopies, we are talking about layers. You find there's the top layer, then the middle layer, and then the bottom layer. Now I want us to go to the economic uses of equatorial rainforests. Economic uses. What do you think they use these forests or these trees for? Do they have any importance they offer? What do you think are the economic uses of equatorial rainforests? Importances, if I can hear from you. Yes, economic uses. Session is saying, I repeat, I want you to tell me the economic uses of equatorial rainforests. Yes, David. David? Yes, David?
They provide foreign exchange through tourism.
David is saying that these forests provide foreign exchange. They provide foreign exchange. I don't know whether you can easily look at my screen. I tried to display this one, but now it has come. Let me first explain this. These were the canopies we are talking about. If you look at the picture displayed on our screen, I tried to display it, but it had some challenges here and there. But now it has come. This one can come like in an examination, and they ask you to identify the type of vegetation shown in the photograph. So if you can look at this critically, we were saying that trees form canopies. You can see the topmost layer. The topmost layer, that is the first layer. Then we have this middle layer. Can you see? We have these trees that form the middle layer. Then we have the third group, the bottom layer. Those layers are what we call canopies. So we are saying that trees in equatorial forests form canopies. Yeah, now we go back to our economic importance. People are putting up their hands. Jovial Linet is saying that they act as boundaries, that forests act as boundaries. Yes, that one is right. Then we have Olivia K. Olivia.
Forests provide wood that is used in.
Yes, they provide wood. Forests provide wood, and you know what we can use this wood for? We can make many things from wood, especially to be used in our homes. So forests provide wood. Yes, we have Gideon. Yes, Gideon. Gideon's hand is up. Yes? Gideon, can you hear me? Yes? Economic uses of equatorial rainforests. Yes, Murizkevo. Yes? Murizkevo? People cannot hear me, I don't know. They are putting up their hands and then they are not giving us responses. Yes, Big Paul.
Yes, forests. Forests are a source of employment to the people, thus improving their standards of living.
Good. Paul is saying that forests are a source of employment. People work there. People go there as farmers, people, actors, those people who go there for different activities. They get source of employment, hence improving their standards of living. Yes? Let me hear from Inarash.
They provide herbal medicine to people.
Wonderful. Trees are sources of herbal medicine. Can you give me examples of herbs that we can get from trees? Who can tell me the types of herbs? Yes? Which types of herbs? Come again. Which types of trees provide us with herbs? Yes? Olivia?
Muvule trees.
Muvule trees. They provide herbs, yes? These days, people are telling us to use herbs. And of course, most of these herbs come from the trees, they are flowers, they are...
Madam, muvule trees.
Muvule trees, good.
Hello?
Muvule trees.
Yes.
Then Nansuga Agas. Nansuga Agas. Another economic use of equatorial forests. Williams is saying they are habitats for wild animals which attract tourists. Good. Forests are habitats for wild animals.
Source of tourist attraction.
Yes, people come to have a look at these different forests, and when tourists come, they give us foreign exchange. Very good. Then Samuel is saying that they help in rainfall formation. Wonderful. We know we have different types of rainfall. We have relief, we have convectional. So these forests are a source, they help us. They help us in rain formation.
Excuse me.
Yes?
But we are talking about economic impact.
Nancy, you have a query?
Me, madam.
Yes?
They act as breakers.
Exactly.
They act as breakers.
They act as windbreakers. They act as windbreakers. They help in the problem of wind. So they act as windbreakers. When you look on my screen, I've come out with a point of they are a source of durable and expensive hardwood. You have mentioned that. You have mentioned that it is a source of wood. Then two, they have encouraged lumbering activities, and that one is what you call employment activities. Many people are engaged in lumbering, and of course, that is a source of income. Then another point is the forest margins are good for growing crops. Forest margins are good for growing crops such as palm oil, cocoa, and rubber. If you can look at those countries you are telling me, Ghana, all those countries, they are good at growing such crops like cocoa and rubber. Therefore, you're saying those forest margins are good for growing crops. Yes, if I can read from Nan, it's saying that they modify climate. Very good. They modify climate, and we have mentioned that they help us in rain formation. Then another point is the environment is conducive for growing a variety of crops, vegetation and fruits such as bananas, pineapples, fruits. Yes, in a rush?
Madam, my question is those trees can they be grafted?
Yes, in a rush.
Those trees, can they be grafted?
The trees, can they be grafted? These are natural trees. These are natural trees that grow on their own. The equatorial forests are natural trees. They grow on their own. Remember, I told you we have those trees that grow on their own, and then artificial trees. But the equatorial trees are natural trees. Then Emma is saying they are sources of timber. Good. They are sources of timber. Yes, from my screen, I was saying that the environment is very conducive. The moment you're near this forest, the environment is very conducive, and you can grow a variety of crops and fruits like bananas, like pineapples, like mangoes, etc. Then Nan is saying that they provide firewood. Very good. They are sources of firewood that we can use in our homes. Yes. Another point is that it is good natural habitat for thousands of wild animals. I'm sure someone had mentioned that these forests are natural habitats for wild animals, hence a potential for tourism. So when you want to have a look at most of these animals, then you go to such areas, we find like many animals living there. Therefore, we can say it is a natural habitat. Then someone is saying that it is a source of energy. Yes, they provide firewood, and therefore it is a source of energy. They have, Inorash is saying they have a moderate climate, and therefore they have cool wind. Yeah, we have said that they help us in modifying our climate. Yes, some hands are still up. Yes, Olivia. Olivia? Olivia?
Yes.
Olivia?
Yes.
Yes, you have your hand up.
Forests provide rainfall.
Yeah, they
the farmers, which helps their crops to grow.
Yes, they are helpful information of rainfall. And I told this is convectional rainfall, which is very important in our day-to-day lives. Then Nan is saying that they provide shade. They provide shade for resting. That is good. Then another one is saying they act as recreational grounds. There are many uses of these forests. I'm glad you people, you are giving me very many answers. Yes, Kelvin. Kelvin, let us hear from Kelvin. His hand is up. Yes, Kelvin. Kelvin. Oh, Kelvin is saying he's not getting through. Let me hear from JB. Yes, JB.
Yeah, they help in beekeeping, where bees are sources of honey.
Yeah, you can easily put your bees in such forests and then you harvest honey. That is right. That is right, JB. You can easily put your bees and then you harvest honey. Yes, session account? Session account? Session account. Can I hear from session account? If you have already mentioned your point, then just put down your hand. Put down your hand. And so, Gloria, you have something to add on?
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
Like, if you look at our heading, say economic uses, and I'm seeing you giving like, it is good natural habitats for the thousands of wild animals. Is it one of economic importance?
Come again?
Like our heading, say economic uses.
Yes.
Like, according to me, like we are supposed to give that economic uses of what? Economic uses of equatorial rainforest.
Yes.
And I'm seeing you having a point that it is
a natural habitat. It is a natural habitat for. Yes.
Is it one of the economic uses?
Yes, we are saying we can use these forests, or they can provide. They provide natural habitats. Natural habitats for wild what? For wild animals. Natural habitat is an economic use. These wild animals, what do we need them for? They are potentials for tourism industry. Of course, with tourism industry, we get, when these tourists come, we get government, we get revenue from them, or what we call foreign exchange. Good. Anzoa. Anzoa.
Yes, madam.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you have a point?
Yes, now the trust going to buy those things.
Come again?
We gave the other man for his
Your voice is too low. Yes, Paul. Yes, Paul.
Forests help in building friendship with other countries, which export our timber.
They promote friendship
with such countries which take our timber.
Yes. Please, advancing the point of friendship. Yes, international relations. International relations, Paul is talking about international relations. Yes, Olivia, your hand again is up.
Yes.
Yes.
Forests promote trade. That
come again.
Provide timber that is sold in.
Come again.
Internationally.
That forests do what? Then someone is typing that there are sources of government revenue.
Promote trade, that is to say they provide timber.
Yeah, they promote trade. People sell timber and get money. Then section is saying it's like yes.
Promote trade, that is to say they provide.
Can I hear from Emma? Emma. Emma, your hand is up. Good. Therefore, from there, I have prepared for you an activity. I've prepared for you an activity. It is very simple. I just want you to answer and then send in your answers via our Google Classroom link.
Teacher.
Number one is draw the map of Africa, and on it, mark and name vegetation types. A, equatorial vegetation. B, savanna. And then C, Mediterranean type of vegetation. Then 2, describe the characteristics of equatorial vegetation. Members, these are simple questions, but let us try to answer. What is very important is learning how to draw the map and then putting in the different types of vegetation. And then you describe the characteristics as we have mentioned them. I want to thank you, members. This was our first time, and I promise we shall keep on improving as we meet next week. Thank you. Thank you very much. You copy down the questions. I'm also going to post them on our platform, Senior 3, and then you send in your responses.
Yes.
Yes. I want you to copy those questions.
Thank you, teacher.
The questions, and then you send in the responses.
Thanks, teacher.
Welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you, teacher.
Next week, we shall meet at the same time. Thank you. Thank you very much.